Doug Green, and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News, and we are here at the opening day of IT Expo. Ray Pasquale's dropped by here, and we're podcasting. Ray, thanks for joining me today.
Glad to be here, Doug.
So I think you have some sessions here that you're hosting. You're talking to people about Unified Office, but you wanted to talk about the hype cycle of AI and where we are on that. And we'll just get to some of those other things.
Yeah, we did regarding the hype cycle. This is a typical S-curve cycle that Gartner produces periodically through various technology evolutions. And so, think about any sort of a bust to boom cycle where this new technology comes in and everybody's trying to use it. It's going, everybody has to try it, because, your boss will say, hey, what are we doing about AI? Oh, we're using ChatGPT. Well, how are you using it? Oh, we're using ChatGPT. So everybody just adopts this thing and they don't quite know how they're using it. And it's the sort of wild, wild west initially. And then as people sort of use it over and over again, it begins to that's not really, and then it goes into this trough of disillusionment. And out the other side, whatever survives, are the things that we typically wind up using, and and what they call the productivity cycle. At Unified Office, what we try to do, I'm not always saying we're 100% correct here, but we always try to anticipate that trend. That we try to skip over the kind of hype cycle and focus on the products that we think are going to emerge on the other end of things. And I mean, there's obviously different ways that we do that. One of the ways that we're able to succeed at doing that, I think, and we've done this in the past, is by focusing on market verticals. And we focus on a half a dozen various market verticals. Restaurants are a big one. And of course, in the audience this morning at our panelist discussion was a customer that came to visit us, I think from Miami or Ohio, just to hear Ray Pasquale talk about AI. And they came up afterwards and said, we're one of your customers. I believe the customer was with Shalom Ministries or something like that. And it was really interesting to hear their perspective on my company. They love Unified Office. They love how we think about things. And they need a partner like us to help them navigate. I think, the whole ChatGPT thing and the way that people don't really understand. When I asked the audience this morning, how many of you understand how training works? Because on, ChatGPT and all that stuff, is big LLMs, they're just a big pile of unstructured data. By themselves, they do nothing. It takes training. In fact, OpenAI spent years training that model, ChatGPT, based on human conversations that they would have. One side the human would be the AI, playing the AI, and you, Doug Green, would play the user. And we'd have these conversations about lots of things. And that fed and trained the ChatGPT. Now, imagine doing that training over a wide swath of the population. By giving it to you for free, that's what happens. You're training the models. And so now we have all these lawsuits pending. Lots of copyright infringement lawsuits. I'm not sure where OpenAI gets their information from, or ChatGPT. Are they scraping other people's content like the New York Times? Who knows? But the Times, the Post, they're all bringing suits against us for copyright infringement. Now the regulators at the federal level and, in fact, the state level are now getting involved in legislation that's trying to regulate chatbots, AI-based chatbots, as if they were humans. Federal wiretapping standards, litigation around what happens if the information that you got hurt somebody. Who do they sue? They can't sue a chatbot, right? So all this stuff is happening, and I think that's going to help feed the sort of, I'm not going to use the word collapse, am I? But yeah, there'll be a collapse of what we're doing today, I think. And what will emerge, I don't think looks a lot like what we're doing today. I think what we're doing today will, because that's a difficult thing for me to explain how I think that. But we focus on language models that we build from our own customers' data that they've allowed us to do that with. So we're kind of like this, right? We're not looking at the entire LLM to do what we need to do. Anyway, that's a little bit wonky. But
was this the message you came to deliver this morning?
What's that?
Is that what you told everyone this morning in your session?
Yes, we did.
And how was that received?
Well, it was received, right? They want to know what's going to happen, and nobody really knows. I mean, frankly, we don't know how it's going to play out, especially with the new administration, which is really AI positive. But it is one of those things that concerns me on two levels. One is I've used it myself on occasion to help with a medical issue that I found to be quite fascinating and very helpful. And two is I've also found it to be very inaccurate at times, and the hallucinations that it can project. There's no guardrails on this thing.
Ray, none of us can see the future, but can you give us a glimpse of what comes out at the other end of this cycle?
I think the reliance on the AI to be all-encompassing. So let me talk about agentive AI, for example. Agentive AI is an AI that actually thinks, is an autonomous. You get in a Tesla and use the autonomous driving function. That AI system iteratively learns on its own, making its own decisions. Then there's AI chatbots, which serve a very particular. I think that the agentive AI is going to be problematic. I think that's the first thing that gets regulated. The agent AI is a lot different. The humans actually feed it. If Doug Green dials in, have the AI lead him to the FAQ section, and then have him dial 0.
Right. Here at this event, you have been also talking about Engage IQ. I want to give you just a chance just to update everyone on that.
All right. So yeah, we announced this a little while ago. I think you and I had talked about it. We've expanded Engage IQ at this event to include a classification and prompting engine. I think those two add-ons to Engage IQ, I think in a future event, not too far from now, I think they're going to become productized. I can't talk too much more about it here at the show, but I would look forward to both of those. The classification engine in particular is really powerful. Imagine being able to listen to this conversation and have an engine that we built actually classify all the things we've talked about here, put it in a big pie chart, and say, Doug and Ray just talked about California regulatory, federal regulatory, agentive AI, and so now you get this overall view of all of what's been happening with your voice. And so we're not looking at language models now, we're looking at your voice. It's happening right now.
Right.
So the transcription has to be very, very, very good. And the transcription engines that we use are very good. We've, had humans look at them often to make sure that the accuracy was there. That's typically called grounding. So we work really hard to help our customers navigate this brave new world, and it's a new world for sure.
Ray, I want to thank you for joining me today, for stopping by a busy day here at IT Expo. Where can we learn more about Unified Office?
UnifiedOffice.com. Very easy to get to us.
Easy peasy.
Yep. Very easy.
All right. Ray, thank you very much. I hope if this podcast gets up during IT Expo, they get to see you here this week in beautiful Fort Lauderdale, but otherwise unified.com.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.